Good morning, Sally. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man? You guys got it rolling up there in Manahawkin. What's going on with this program?
Well, I've been blessed with a lot of great athletes who have come through the program, and great coaching staff. A lot of good things are happening for sure.
What did you expect coming into this season? Did you feel like you had the talent to take it all the way? Obviously, you guys finished up as state champions and pretty much the number one team in the state.
Yeah, we knew we had a good group coming back. Of course, you always lose talented kids. That's just the nature of high school sports. But we knew we had a good group. What we saw from them in the off season during club ball and that kind of stuff, I knew that we were going to be pretty good. I knew we'd be up near the top.
Tell us about this kid, Brennan Davis. You're the New Jersey Player of the Year. Obviously, your best player. What's he been like for you, and what makes him such a good volleyball player?
Wow, what a great kid, great family, just a dedicated player. I always use the phrase the love of the game when I talk about Brennan. Since he was a little guy, he came to my camps when he was real young. His older sister played volleyball for me. But he's just been around the game. He's worked incredibly hard. He's become just an incredible leader for us. So, throughout even the last couple seasons, he's our setter, so he runs our offense. And I knew I could just put things in his hands and let him run things, like a quarterback would be in football. And, he just handled himself well. He ended up, in his 4 years, he played in 4 state championship finals, won 3 of them. And so, as he was coming into his senior year, I knew we were in really good hands out on the court.
Coach, can you spot early on if a kid is a natural at a certain position, say a setter or an outside hitter, or do they kind of have to work into those positions? I'm not sure what kind of feeder program you have up there, but, boys volleyball isn't particularly hugely popular sport in the state of New Jersey. Certain areas are, but can you pick out a freshman and say, hey, this kid by the time he's a senior going to be a great outside hitter, a great setter, great middle blocker, anything like that?
Yeah, there's definitely some things that you can see. Size is obviously an issue. Jumping ability is an issue. How clean somebody's hands are. That's the kind of thing that would make them a good setter. But there are players who develop and become, better at something else that maybe I didn't see. But there certainly are qualities that you look for that will put a kid in a certain position. So there is some of that. But it can work both ways. It definitely can work both ways. We try to train our players to be able to do a little bit of everything. When they're younger, they do the drills that all of our setters would do, that all of our back row players would do, that all of our hitters would do. And then if we do need them to switch positions, they've got, a little bit of background so that they can do that.
Talking with Coach Eric Maxwell of Southern Regional Volleyball. Coach, were you surprised at the final record this year, 29-1? The only loss came to 100 and Central, which is a pretty good team in their own right. They went 23-1. Did you see a season like this coming?
Yeah, actually, it was 39-1.
Oh, I'm sorry, 39-1.
We knew we would. No, that's okay. That's okay. I never get caught up in the win-loss record. We make sure we go out and play great teams, and if we lose a couple matches along the way, I look at that as a positive that we're playing a tough schedule, and we can learn from things that we might encounter against a good team. But things just rolled for us, and we had that one loss, the 100 and Central, which at that time it was in the middle of May, and probably one of the best things that could have happened for us. Because we lost that, we came back a little bit more focused, and we were expecting to see them later on, and they ended up getting knocked out of their section. But it was a solid season, obviously. Again, I never stressed to my guys about being undefeated. That's a little scary sometimes, and I'd find ourselves lose a match somewhere along the way. And I've always found that does focus your players a little bit more and keeps them on guard a little.
Coach, the way the program sits now, all the success you guys have had in the past 3 to 5 years, where do you go from here? How do you keep the focus up? How do you continue to challenge yourselves on a year-to-year basis? And I'm sure there's plenty of interest, plenty of guys that want to be a part of that team. That's the good thing. The challenge, I guess, now is how do you stay on top?
Well, that's one of the things that Coach John Wooden always said. It's one thing to get there. The tough part is being able to stay there, and that's one of the guys I read a lot about is Coach Wooden, and I follow a lot of his philosophies. But I think one of the things that I try to do, I'd start motivating my guys, even as this season ended, to say now we have a chance to three-peat. So I'm always dangling that carrot out there in front of them so that all off season they're starting to think about, okay, what do we got to do next year? How do we live up to the legacy? And I have players who will work in the off season. They'll play beach volleyball. They'll do club. They'll go to camps this summer, out to Penn State and places like that. So these guys are dedicated. And like I said, they know what the tradition is. They win a state championship, and they love the feel of it, and it's exactly, they want to see it happen again.
Now, Coach, when he was in high school, was he a better volleyball player or football player, Mike Jasecki?
Wow. That's a tough one, but he was a pretty good basketball player as well.
That's true, yeah.
He was a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed sitting in the stands and watching him play. But I was also always looking forward to having him on the court for us. He only played like 2 months a year with volleyball because he had all the other commitments with his other sports. But he was just phenomenal, just a natural talent. Picked up the game so quick and just dominant. Just his size, his jumping ability. I know one thing that he did say is after his career ended, he said one of the best choices that he ever made was to decide to play volleyball because he had so much fun doing it. I think he felt that there wasn't the big pressure on. He knew he was going to look to go the football route, but I think he had a lot of fun. We had a great relationship. I just thought he was just a great kid to coach, and he at that time he was the best volleyball player in the state of New Jersey. So for the amount of time that he was able to put into it, just a phenomenal result that we were able to get out of Mike.
What was that like, seeing the other players react to him? I mean, obviously he was a kid. You had a feeling, could be an NFL-type talent. He had that type of size, and it must have been interesting to see the other guys kind of just be around him every day. And, I mean, that kid was a beast in high school. You're talking about 6'6" and, 230 pounds or whatever he was back then.
Yeah. One of the neat things about Mike is he was a great teammate as well. Never blamed anybody else, took responsibility when things weren't going well, and at times would just, he would put the team on his back and just say, give me the ball, I'll get us through this. But again, like I said, a great kid to coach, and great with his teammates. Everybody got along well with Mike. Everybody really liked Mike, and it was a neat situation because sometimes somebody who's that talented and that good can kind of have that prima donna attitude, but that never happened. Certainly never happened with us on the volleyball court. And he enjoyed winning. He was really a big part of a couple of our state championships, and it was a great situation we had with Mike.
Awesome, Coach. It's going to be fun to see how the rest of his career plays out. I know he's an amazing talent, and one you guys are happy to call one of your hometown boys, so we'll keep tabs on him throughout the coming years. And Coach, we appreciate you taking a few minutes. We're up against the break here, but congratulations on all your success. And like you said, it's going to be tough to keep it rolling, but every year you just got to keep setting that bar higher, right?
Yeah, we have our goals set already. Like I said, we're already talking 3P, and we know it's going to be a challenge. There's great teams out there, but the boys are already working. They're already getting ready for 2018.
Awesome. Good stuff, Coach. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you. You also, Sully. Appreciate you having me on.
No problem, man. Take it easy. That was Coach Eric Maxwell of Southern Regional Boys Volleyball. Looking at the three-peat, Cole. They want to keep it rolling, man. This team has had an incredible run the last couple of years, and like we said, Brandon Davis was the Player of the Year.